made it. But here we go. We're getting into the grand finals. Predictions in the chats are open, so place your bets. You have a couple of minutes left here. A couple of minutes left to place your bets on who you think is going to be this week's champion. Is it going to be our Protoss or our Terran? Here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our French Terran player, the blue Terran, representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Danish Protoss representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. I'm qualifiers and I'll be at work today for Asia. Yeah. As a quick reminder as well, as we get ready for the finals, we were asked to promote this, of course, by ESL, is the fact that the IM qualifiers are tonight. I think I mentioned at the time they were in 7 hours. I think now they're in, it's far closer. I think they're in like 5 hours or something. I don't have much time to sleep. Okay, in 6 hours time, we're going to be live once again here on the CranKy Ducklings with the IM Asia qualifiers. So be sure you're a part of that if you're interested in who makes it into IM Katowice. As the Asia qualifiers is tonight, the closed qualifiers are tomorrow, and then we have the European qualifiers, the Americas ones, and we should be casting every single region. Should be casting, as we always do, should be casting every single region here on the CranKy Ducklings, live every day, as always. For now though, Clem, ooh, going for a 2-Rax opener. Let's go. MaxPax going for a gate cyber expand. You know, everything looking normal from the side of the Protoss. Meanwhile, Clem does lock MaxPax out of his own main base. And with this 2-Rax, we have Reapers in production. Clem looking to be hyper aggressive here in the early game. Going to be zooming across the map. And we'll see what he can get done. As the Reapers are going to be sent out. We can see here Clem looking for that scouting probe, hoping to shut it down. The probe did race back home, so nothing for Clem to kill, but he's just making sure, he's just securing himself, that there's nothing to deal with. It's going to be CC on location on the low ground. Reapers are being sent out. They are amassing. And MaxPax will have one Adept. He's going to be going for a Stargate opener behind this. With a Stargate, we can either go and commit into Phoenixes or go Oracle into a Twilight Council instead. So MaxPax, he has a couple of options. But he has been quite fond of that Stargate opener in recent times. I know that he's known for, 4-gate blink, and especially a couple of months ago, that's all he did. But these past couple of weeks, MaxPax has been avoiding blink stalkers and going for a much more heavy Stargate play instead. It's been interesting to see. We saw it last week as well from MaxPax, and the week before. So here we go. Reapers are moving out across the map. They're going straight for that mineral line. There is one Adept back at him to defend the boys that have to be evacuated. Probes are pulled away. 2 workers go down. A lot of lost mine time. We got up to 4 Reapers. But across the map, MaxPax does rock up with that Adept. Can he delay the CC? Oh, he cannot. Shuts down one of those Reapers. We do deny mining time though. This is a bit of a rough position here for Clem. He was hoping he could keep these Adepts busy back at home. But he has to turn back around. He has to deal with this. He has to get back into mining in his own main base. As the Adept is going to get picked off. Meanwhile, I mentioned before that we had 2 options. We could either go Phoenixes or we can go Oracles into a Twilight Council. That's what's happening. We have an Oracle first, and we have a Twilight Council afterwards. This should be for Blink from MaxPax. Adepts are being cleaned up, but here comes that Oracle. We can go for the Marines, to be honest. There's 5 Marines. That's quite a lot, actually. We don't want to mess with that. MaxPax backs off. Now, MaxPax is in a bit of danger. This Stargate opener hasn't really paid for itself. We've invested into an Oracle. We have delayed Blink as a result because we went Stargate first. And yeah, MaxPax is going to be stuck at home. Taking a fast third. But he does relinquish map control. Meanwhile, Clem, he's building himself up here on 2 bases, getting into his 3-1-1 setup. 3 Raxes, +1 is on the way. And we should eventually be moving out with our medevacs once the starport is thrown down. Oracle dips in, takes a couple of hits before getting the hell out of there. Again, just making sure that the army is staying back at home. MaxPax sending out a couple of spotter units. But the Reapers are here to clean them up as well. Up! It does go down. We can see MaxPax taking defensive position with those stasis traps. Again, this makes plenty of sense because of the delayed blink, because there are no Phoenixes. MaxPax, he has to stay at home here and has to be ready for whatever comes his way. Shield batteries, stasis traps. Stalkers are now moving out. Blink is about to finish, and we do get the revelation on the army. Here come those medevacs, as we mentioned before. Clem should be moving out once he has them. Should have a pretty hefty army with +1 and concussive shell. But concussive shell isn't done. We do get a stalker. Not a bad trade. That was a couple of marines for one stalker. Oracle tries to go in, but we have a missile turret in position. Up! The Oracle barely escapes. We do not force the stem. Across the map, Reaper does arrive. Just poking, prodding at the third. Ooh, we get the Oracle in the end. Bit of an overextension there from MaxPax. As Clem is going to keep pushing. MaxPax going to be trading with the army again. Good blinks, this time preserving his stalkers, but Clem, he smells blood in the water. He goes for the stim. Dives on the army. There's that stasis trap. Up! Massive stasis trap on the army, and just like that, MaxPax will deflect this. He will shut this down. Ay, ay, ay. Even without the stasis, the overcharge may have been enough regardless. As Clem is reinforcing, he's going to try to time this up, or try to line this up with the completion of the stasis trap. Does try to stim away, but he loses everything. Gets one stalker, two, three stalkers. That was a brutal trade. As we focus down even more of these marauders as well, Clem, can he break through? Up! Barely does force this back. The marauders, sorry, the stalkers are so low. Deep in the red, MaxPax taking a fourth base, getting into charge. His robot production as well. MaxPax being so assertive with this. As he pushes out, we do have a third base. Clem is not all in, getting his third base on location, slowly getting it up and running. Still being very active though, very aggressive. Getting whatever value he can. Forcing out a stim. Does get a stalker, does try to trade with the army, but we barely have anything here. We need to get the hell out of here. Clem racing back to the safety of these widow mines. At the same time, we have a drop into, soon to be into the natural and into the main. We are going for the mine drop, but MaxPax has plenty of time to react. We do get a couple of probes though. 3, soon to be 4 probes. Not bad. We also confirmed the forge. The upgrades soon to be on the way. Meanwhile, MaxPax is getting ready for a big Zealot counterattack at the same time. Clem pushing forward, threading the 4th base, but we are in position. We have cannons, shield batteries, overcharge. There's no breaking this. And mine's going to go down as well. At the same time, Zealot runs into reinforcements. Going for the mineral line. And Marauders are being caught out. Big Zealot warping into the main base. Chaos is ensuing, and Clem, he's hurting. He's losing a lot of SCVs here in the main base. 8 SCVs go down, and we are camping the production. And here comes the main army. Clem is just being pulled apart. As he gets dragged into the main, we have stalkers hitting the 3rd base. It's just becoming too much. The Warp Prism does survive. I'm falling asleep. Going for a big warp in. GG gets called, and MaxPax will take game number 1. GG. Again, Clem, he was banking up so much on his first medevac push, on his first double drop to get damage done, and he was completely shut down. From that moment, MaxPax got so much momentum. Clem lost that momentum, and yeah, he was pulled apart in the end. Really impressive defense out of MaxPax, able to keep up with all the drops, with the constant rotations and maneuvering of Clem, and able to find the breathing room as well to counterattack the way that he did. Really solid performance there out of MaxPax. And now we're going to be getting into game number 2. And we'll see what our opener is going to be looking like. I should also emphasize that in game 1, Clem going for the 2-Rax Reaper was unorthodox. Like, that was a really wild maneuver that we don't typically see. Was out of the norm, and it was an okay opener. I mean, the problem is that he was forced to turn back around, so he didn't really get too much done with it. He was hoping for more probe kills, he was hoping for more economic damage, and he didn't really kill much. And because the Adept was able to sneak past, the Reapers had to race back home, and yeah, the Reaper opener wasn't quite worth it in the end. It did delay the expansion, did delay even the follow-up factory as well. So MaxPax able to get an early lead as well from that early game. But now we're getting into game number 2. And personally, I'm hoping for a back and forth. I'm hoping that we can go the distance. But here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Equilibrium, we have our Danish Protoss player representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the French Terran player down in the series, but it's a best of 5. Plenty of games are ahead of us. It is Clem. Oh, hello, Mr. SCV. Where are we headed? Where are we going? Let's go. We have a proxy Rax being thrown down across the map. Now, it's only one SCV. Bear that in mind. So not the most committed proxy. Probe is going to be sent out across the map to scout. Now, I'm curious how we do maneuver with this. Now, this looks like Proxy Reaper. It's not close enough to the edge to float into the main. Likewise, because of its positioning, I doubt this is going to be Proxy Marauder. We are taking 2 gases behind this, but I feel like Proxy Reaper should still be here on the table for Clem. Once again, he wants to be the aggressor. Once again, Clem wants to dictate the pace of the game. We'll see if he can. Probe is coming in. Probe Scout will confirm that the Rax is missing. Now, what's important about PvT is that the Rax could still be further back in the main, which is why MaxPax is checking. He's checking the main base. He should also check behind the natural and the third base locations. It is not uncommon for Terran players to throw down their first Rax here at their triangular thirds instead of in their main, just to fake out a proxy. Meanwhile, MaxPax skipping his Zealot, taking a bit of a chance, taking a risk. Pro being as annoying as possible. We do see Clemmy check the gold to make sure MaxPax wasn't rushing into that sneaky gold base. Reaper's on the way. We should be looking for some economic damage. Once again, Clem rechecking that gold before going into the main. And it looks like we do for at least some lost mining time. Up, we get one. One probe goes down. Oh, and can we get a second? The Stalker has arrived and will zone this away. It wasn't just one worker kill, a lot of lost mining time. Shield batteries on the way as well, forced to invest. So this Reaper has done some damage, and we kept it alive. Not bad. Meanwhile, as I mentioned before, MaxPax has been very fond of Stargate openers recently. Over the past 2 weeks, I think in the past 2 weeks, I've seen MaxPax go for a Twilight Council opener once, at least in the Open Cups and Kung Fu Cups and the tournaments that we cast. WTL. So yeah, we do have that Stargate opener once again, which is going to be confirmed by Clem. Does see it, does spot it. Behind this, it was a double gas opener, so we have a Rax into factory into a delayed CC. Bear that in mind. Clem, he did go for a less economic opener, so he's got some catching up to do. Thankfully, he did see the Stargate. I do appreciate that MaxPax is mixing it up. Remember, last game it was a Stargate opener into an Oracle into Blink Stalkers. This game, Stargate into Phoenixes, into potentially Colossus. Phoenixes are on the way. Now again, the traditional way to play this out is to go Mass Phoenix, I say Mass Phoenix, go up to like 4 or 5 Phoenixes, get into a Robotics Bay, then get into a third base. There are some players that go for the third first and then the Bay into Colossus. Of course, the other avenue you can take is instead of going into Colossus production, you can go into charge lots with the Twilight Council. Phoenix is going to be confirming the expansion on the way. And there's that Robo. So this should be Colossus production. lo and behold, everyone loves it. Phoenix Colossus. It's a very robust way to play. The Phoenixes, their role here, their goal is to shut down drop play, shut down medevacs, and to contain the Terran opponent. Meanwhile, Colossus deal with any kind of bio-related push. They can just completely shut it down. That's MaxPax. He will pick off an SCV, does delay that depot. Not a bad pickup. Once again, just making sure that Clem is stuck back at home. So Clem is building himself back up, getting into his 3-1-1 setup, working towards those E-bays, towards those upgrades. Reaper Scout is checking for the third. Once again, checking the golds, checking the triangular third. There's that bay on the way. So MaxPax is going for a safer variation, going for the bay before third base, before Nexus. There's that third on the way. Has been spotted, has been confirmed. Clem is aware. Oof, oh my god. As the mine shot does go up. Up. Likewise, good target firing on the Viking. We trade one Widow Mine for one Phoenix. We barely get the Viking as well. The Phoenixes will escape. Clutch trades here from both players. Clem killing a Phoenix. MaxPax killing a Viking. As he turns back around, we also have a safety immortal on the way. Again, MaxPax has very little units to work with. He has 4 Phoenixes. That's his army. So getting a safety immortal means that we have something to defend in case Clem were to move out now. So just playing it safe here. Should be 1 immortal, then we can start Colossus. It would be crazy if we start Disruptors. Disruptors would be wild, but there it is. Colossus is on the way. MaxPax is sane. There are some players, I think Creator has done it in the past, where you cut corners and you go Disruptor instead. But it's such a risky maneuver. Not typically worth going for. Meanwhile, Clem has been building himself up this entire time. Like, again, as you mentioned, because these Phoenixes, Clem has been stuck at home. He has been stuck at home this entire time, but now that the medevacs have arrived, we can move out. Now, specifically talking about his build and his army of choice, he opted not to go for Raven, so there is no disable. If there was a Raven, we could potentially go for a push and break the Protoss player with disables connecting with the Colossus. Instead, with this straight up army, we can move out. Yes, we can force a reaction. This move out should be protecting the third, as in Clem, he's getting a third CC. He should be landing it on location, should be forcing MaxPax to turn back around. This move out isn't designed to kill, it's designed to pressure and give Clem the freedom he needs to expand. Oh, good pickoff. Gets another Phoenix. Very nicely done. Gets a Phoenix, rotates over towards the northern portion of the map. Takes control of the Zonaga. As we mentioned, here Clem is just vying for map control. Dancing with the army, forcing back these Phoenixes. And eventually taking his third. Meanwhile, Clem is fully saturated on 3 bases. Colossus count is looking quite stable. We have 2, soon to be 3 Colossus. Marines are moving out. +1 is on the way. And yeah, MaxPax is looking pretty secure. He has a Colossus here to defend the third. He has his Phoenixes ready for a drop into the main. He's ready for a split push. Shield battery is ready. MaxPax, for a moment, he is distracted. He's keeping his Colossus in between the bases to react to either kind of pressure, to either attack. I'm going to be moving in. Behind this, he is taking that third base, as we mentioned. Oh, Phoenixes! Once again, they get caught out. Oh my god. MaxPax bleeding out 4 Phoenixes so far. For not much. Clem has been trading better. Clem has been more efficient in his trades. But you could also argue that MaxPax sure has been losing Phoenixes, but what matters is the Colossus count. He's building up his ground army. It's becoming more and more robust. Charge on the way, +1. Soon a Templar Archives for Storm. Oh, I panned away. Just the wrong time. Widow Mine shot goes off, does connect once again with the Phoenix. Doesn't kill it, but does soften them up. Up! As the Marines are trying to catch these units. Trying to cut them off. We do force another stim, and we do not get the Phoenixes. Just barely, they escape. Behind this, Clem is on 3-base saturation. We're taking up even further, getting towards those ghosts. Now, what's important here is that, sure, Clem, he hasn't been able to trade. He hasn't been able to kill Colossus or anything like that. you're right. But at the same time, Clem has been so efficient. He's been preserving his army. He's been building up his army over time. He is ahead in army supply. That's why the supplies are in favor of Clem, because he's been so patient and so careful with his movement here, with his control. And when he does move out, he's going to have a hefty amount of Marines, Marauders, Ghosts for EMPs, Vikings to deal with the Colossus. Alright, this still could go either way. This fight could go either way. As MaxPax is moving out, we do get a massive warping into the main. The Prism makes it in. No shot. Clem, his attention is going to be pulled apart. But he has to focus on the main defense. Okay, Marines and Marauders, they do make their way into the main base. The eBay is under threat. And we're pushing in. The Archons have arrived. Decent EMP on the Colossus. The Vikings are doing what they can, but you can see that Clem is being zoned away from his third. Meanwhile, throughout all of this, Clem has cleaned up the drop in the main. The Vikings dealt with the Prism. Now we can focus on the front. We can focus on the frontal assault instead. And Clem holds. Clem loses 4 SCVs, true, but he does hold on. Looking at the lost here. That was 18 dead Zealots. We got 1 Ghost. MaxPax only killing 1 Ghost there. Not quite worth it. Zealot run-by is being ready here, being set up towards the south. Another War Prism is on the way to head into the main, or to reinforce the main army. And Clem is now taking his 4th. MaxPax still looking for a way in. He did spot the army with that spotter Zealot. He's aware. Clem has exposed his third a little bit, and here comes MaxPax. Clem out of position. Force fields are thrown down. Colossus swiping away at that mineral line, but it looks like Clem, he does arrive in time. He does force us back. At the same time, we do have that Zealot run, but we have mines. Big mine connections. Only 3 Zealots make it through. We should deal with this. War Prism reinforcing with those Stalkers. Another Zealot run by comes in, but we have an EMP. Force back the army. That Viking count looking terrifying. We take down the Phoenixes. MaxPax should be working towards Disruptors, and we do have 1. We're getting into double Disruptor production. A 3rd Robo's on the way for triple Disruptor production, which is insane, but we're getting there. And thankfully, MaxPax backs off. If he stuck around a little bit too long, he would have lost his Colossus. His Colossus were getting very low. He was losing Phoenixes. The Vikings of Clem were going ham. It's a very mature decision here for MaxPax to retreat, as he does need to refine his army. Well, MaxPax is maxed out. Only on 2 Disruptors. We need to throw away some of this Gateway army. MaxPax is with his gold up and running, working on a 5th. His upper base, which is as to be expected here in this matchup. MaxPax rotating around. Zealot run by tries to sneak in towards the 3rd. Is spotted. That minefield still set up. You have to be very careful. As it looks like we want to try to bait it out. Oof. 1 mine does connect. Prism going straight for the main base. Oh, is going to be caught out. We have a Cyclone. Zealot run by comes in, but it is going to be dealt with. But here come those Purification Novas. Here come the Disruptors. Good connection on 3 Widow Mines. But Clem, he wants that gold. Both players are maxed out. MaxPax has the slightly better bank, but this could all end in 1 big fight. Vikings coming, they almost one-shot a Colossus. Up! Good Nova. Gets 2 Marauders. The Colossus looking very vulnerable. Another Nova goes off. Zoning back Clem. The Vikings, they take down 1 of the Colossus. They're going to be able to get a 2nd as well. 1 Colossus remains. Behind this, MaxPax getting into Stargate play. We have Skytoss on the way. 2 Stargates and a Fleet Beacon. I mean, this is a really good transition, because again, MaxPax is maxed out. As he trades out some of these units, we should be getting into Tempest and Carriers. MaxPax is working towards that late game army. Meanwhile, Clem is working towards Liberators. Liberators are a good way to take control of the ground and snowball things in your favor. gain momentum against a ground toss army. But it's not going to be ground toss for long. So here we go. Once again, another Colossus goes down. These Vikings doing well for themselves. Thankfully, the Viking count is still looking healthy. So even though we're getting into carriers and into more Colossus, actually, Clem, he's going to have some anti-air to work with. He's already working on air attack as well, on ship weapons. Just because that's what you want to work for even when you're going for Liberators, even against ground toss. So +2 ship weapons are on the way. We've got 5 CCs, 3-3 on the horizon as well. Clem looking to cut the map in half. So many sensor towers. MaxPax playing with fire. Oh, never goes off. Does not connect. Clem has to be so careful with how he engages, and again, his lib count just is not high enough. Getting into more CC, still has not seen the transition. He doesn't know. MaxPax pushing towards the third base. Both Archons go down. Good connection. We take down some ghosts. 3-4 ghosts go down. Good EMP from the high ground. Liberators are sieged. But MaxPax does escape. Behind this, 5 Liberators at a time. Let's go. Once we get a high enough lib count up, basically we want to be getting rid of some of these Marauders. I mean, Marauders, they have their place at the moment, but little does Clem know that we're building up carriers. Big scan! We get eyes on the carriers. We see the production. We see the carriers being made on the Stargates. He knows. And then immediately turrets are on the way. Missile turrets are in production. MaxPax trying to chase us down. Harriers have arrived. And Clem is going for a Doom drop. Part of his army is getting caught out. Yeah, MaxPax, he can keep on pushing. Clem, this was the really rough time to go for the drop. Can he pull it off? Dark Templar have been revealed. Clem trying to go for his own counterattack, but he's running into carriers. Likewise, you can see Clem trying to catch these carriers as well. The Novas do not connect. Vikings pushing forward. One carrier overextends. It gets left behind, and it will go down. Meanwhile, we drop into the main base. We force a recall. There's the overcharge. Plenty of Stalkers in position. Clem, though, he does gain some ground. He's moving out towards the gold. MaxPax, he's not where he needs to be. Gold base is going to go down. The Disruptors! They get caught out. 3-4 Disruptors fall. 5 Disruptors even. Oh my god. Gold base is going to go down. The drop in the main still distracting all these carriers, by the way, even depowering some of the Stargates. And from here, Clem, he can rotate back down. He hasn't seen these bases. He has. He's aware. Did kill the gold. Sees the army getting in position. Liberator's going to be harassing. As we have a massive Dark Templar counterattack. We do have some reinforcements though. Yeah, the DTs, they won't get much done, but this is forcing Clem back. So Clem, he gained ground. He killed 7 workers, killed a base, did well for himself. But MaxPax has a bank. He's got 5k in the bank, 5k minerals, almost 2k gas. So he has been able to remax here on carriers, on Skytoss. He's refining his army. Skytoss and Disruptors is what he wants. Slow zone is thrown down. Vikings, they're trying to kite. How many Vikings are we on? 22 Vikings, by the way. This is what we need. Viking lives. Sky Terran versus Skytoss. Let's go. With, of course, Ghost of support. As we chase this down. Here come the Novas. They should be coming. Cloak is used. Mothership gets focused down. -300, -300. We can focus down the carriers as well. We have more than enough Vikings. 1 carrier remaining. Nova trying to zone away the ground army, but alas, MaxPax, he's losing too much too quickly. we mentioned before that it was so fortunate that Clem already had Vikings to begin with, so he was able to just dump, and already working on his Viking upgrades as well, because of those Liberators. And he switched into 6 Vikings at a time, his production going ham. Oh, and MaxPax going into Colossus against all these Vikings. This is not going to work out. Ay, ay, ay. Not like this. Now, the downside to Clem's army is he doesn't have a lot of, like, meat to it. He doesn't have a lot on the ground, so he actually can't punish too many of these bases. Big DT. Oh, oh my, that's so many mules. Ay, ay, ay. That is 12 mules. Oh my god. As we deny mining on this fresh base. No planetary. No turrets. The mules, they go back to mining. Now, Clem has a massive bank to work with. 5k gas in the bank. Pushing on forward. Big EMPs. Just go off, but Clem is just bullying back the army. Now we have Tempest. Tempests are what we were missing. So for those wondering, as these Liberators just bully back the ground army, we need Tempest to bully the Libs. So a much better composition, but the Vikings are going down. Bit of an overextension. Nova goes off. Likewise, does connect with the Bio army. Good trades here out of MaxPax. At the same time, we're going for a Zealot counterattack and a DT counterattack as well. There are reinforcements back at home. It looks like we will deal with this. But Clem has to back off. He has to retreat. Oof. Yeah, Liberators are falling. The Zealots saying, get on top of the ground army. They surround the Marauders and the Ghosts. And Clem is being cleaned up. He does take down every single Tempest. The Vikings, they put in some work. But there just wasn't enough on the ground. As we saw MaxPax go for basically a ground transition from here. Still making Tempest. But didn't reinvest into a gateway army. A good way to deal with all these Vikings and Libs. Clem has to retreat. Now, thankfully, Clem has a bank, so he can still rebuild. And because of all these planetaries, he should be safe. He shouldn't be losing a base anytime soon. Back at home, he's getting into 9 Liberators at a time. Jesus. Which is what we need. We do need Liberators more than anything at the moment. Colossus goes down. Oh my god. The Novas. Without Liberators, these Purification Novas, they reign supreme here. The ground army pushes forward. And more Vikings are going to be falling. Better trades for MaxPax, but here come the Libs. The freedom has arrived. Liberation. Let's go. Clem maxing out with his Libs. Now, because the Tempest have been revealed, from here we have to go back into Viking production. Looks like Clem has been zoned away from his base. Zoned away from his planetary. Liberators are going to be sieging. Big shots going up. Medivacs do overextend. You can see Clem getting back into Vikings. Which he does need for these Tempests. Oh, as Liberators are getting picked off. Oh my god, the zones! The freedom! But again, even though we force back the ground army, the Tempests, they just have their way with those Libs over and over again. Thankfully for Clem, the Tempest count wasn't too high because it was reset earlier, so we do get some shots in, but we don't quite kill too many Liberators in the end. But now we can break through. Novas have arrived, big connections, we take down the planetary. Oh, but we get a big flank! A massive flank here from Clem, he gets on top of the Disruptors. Big Lib shots going off as well. And he catches MaxPax out. Both armies trading, and this is better for Clem. Because Clem has a bank. MaxPax does not. Running out of gas. Yeah, these Tempests putting in a lot of work. They've been trading well. What are we working with? We have 18 Vikings, 9 Libs. Thames gets some hits and big EMP. Oh! Oh my god, the splits are good. We connect with Marauders, not with Ghosts. And we pick off another handful of Tempest. Big pickoffs, and is that too much? Is MaxPax losing too much? He's getting into carriers behind this. Carriers are on the way. Liberator's going to be harassing some of these fringe bases. We do zone MaxPax out, and now it's going to be MaxPax's turn to lose this center base. Nexus is going to fall, and MaxPax can do nothing about it. Here we go. Clem pushing forward. He has so much momentum. Look at how many Vikings he has. Arguably too many, as he cleans up all the Tempest, and he's got 18 Vikings left over. But it's okay, because now there are carriers to kill. Vikings, they can now deal with the carriers. As we zone away the army, we kill another base, and Clemmy snowballing out of control, denying any mining that MaxPax has left. Killing 2 bases, MaxPax forced to counterattack instead. The army's getting in position. The Novas, they're going to go up. They connect with the Ghosts. Big connections. MaxPax, he cleans up the Ghosts. He'll be losing all of his carriers. But the Zealot army looking to snowball out of control. This is it. This is the moment here for MaxPax. Yeah, he cleans up the bio. Gets on top of the CC. The Gateway army getting out of control. And Clem needs to get rid of some of these Vikings. The Vikings are not helping. I mean, he's not maxed out. It's okay. Clem just needs time to rebuild. He's remaxing. Here come those Libs. Do dive on top of them, though. We're going to have to land these Vikings soon. And Tempest, they rally into their deaths. Tempest going to be going down. Can MaxPax pull this off? He's getting on top of the Marauders. he's doing it. Yeah, the Vikings, they have to land. Novas connect. Oh my god. And Clem, he can't rebuild. We're sending it. We're sending it right down the center, towards the natural, towards the main. It's all or nothing for MaxPax. He's camping the production. But Liberators, they've arrived. Just in time. They saved the main base. Clemmy's got 8k minerals. We need Marines. We need to spend our money. Oh my god, and it looks like we are. It looks like the Zealots are being cleaned up. MaxPax, he's running out of steam. That was a scary push. That was a terrifying attack from MaxPax. He almost pulled it off. He was all in. There's nothing else behind this. There's no economy. There's no army. There's nothing. It's just... MaxPax, he runs into the mules at least. We'll clean them up. That's all that MaxPax can do. GG gets called. And Clem will tie up the series 1-1. GG. Oh my god, that was a game. GG, well played. Very back and forth. There were moments where things were looking a little bit shaky for Clem, but overall, once he got into the swing of things, once he got into his army, he was looking powerful. I did appreciate the Skytoss transition out of MaxPax. I do think he shouldn't have gone into carriers first. If you remember, he went into like 6 carriers first and then into Tempest. I do think that Tempest first would have been the more ideal situation. We saw like how much value Tempest can have here, especially when you're up against Lib heavy compositions. Oh, did we lose Mapu? Mapu. But yeah, we saw how well Tempest can really perform, but it took a really long time for MaxPax to really commit and get into that. And by the time he did, like, he was already struggling to hold on to his bases against the ground army of Clem. Ooh, GG was close towards the end though. That all in almost worked. If we were able to get on top of the main base, able to camp the production, then maybe we could have made some magic happen, but barely didn't make it in the end. And here we go. We're getting into game number 3 to determine who takes a lead in this series. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Alkione, we have the Danish Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Psystorm Gaming. Ooh, being forced into a tied up series. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the French Terran player representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. Whew. Oh boy. Let us go. So we're going to be settling here into our next game. Now, winding it back here, every game so far, every game in this series, MaxPax has gone for a Stargate opener. Is that going to continue to be the case here in game number 3? I'm curious. I am curious. Here we go. As of now, Clem looking to go for a Rax expand. Likewise, MaxPax getting into a standard opener himself. Probe gets across the map, is going to be scouting, getting a read on what is going on. Oh my god. I mean, when it comes to the last game, it was so long. Like, thinking back on it, there was so much that was going on there. Another thing that I wasn't too fond of, if you remember, another thing that if you remember, was MaxPax reinvesting into Colossus. Going back into Colossus, like, in the midst of his opponent having 20 Vikings. There was like moments like that. There was a lot coming into that game. There was regardless, we're settling ourselves into game number 3. Clem going for an economic opener this time. For the first time this series, so far in game 1 and game 2, he's been going for double gas openers. He shuts down the pylon. He does scout the probe, comes across the proxy, and will force it back. Very nice scout here from Clem, getting into his economic opener. CC on the low ground. Behind this, MaxPax going to be getting into his tech of choice, and it is going to be behind the mineral line. For the first time this series, we have a Twilight Council. Let's go. What has MaxPax been known for so long? 4-gate blink. Do we commit? I mean, this should be a Blink Stalker based opener, but how many gateways? 2, 3, or 4? We're here to find out. Here we go. So now the Reaper is going to be dipping between the bases. Dancing between the main and the natural, forcing quite a bit of lost mining time as well. Very nicely done. Clem gets the hell out of there. Behind this, getting into his 1-1-1 based opener. Getting into his starport. Do love to see it. Oh, nice movement out of MaxPax, body blocking the Reaper. You love to see it. But when it comes to Clem's vision, he did scout the Twilight Council. He's aware of what's going on. Yet to get confirmation on how many gateways are going to be thrown down. We can see 2. There's a 3rd gateway on the way. Was casting with Chicken Man yesterday. He was talking about how MaxPax has been more fond of 3-gate blink instead of 4. We'll see if that's going to be the case here. As Marines are going to be dancing with those adepts. And there it is. 3 gates are on the way. It's going to be 4 gateways in total for MaxPax. What he's known for. Kind of the tried and true MaxPax 4-gate blink. Do love to see it. And it's going to be on it's going to be on Clem to figure out what's going on. It's going to be on Clem to get a read on it. So far, he has seen 2 more gateways here at the natural, so he's aware of at least 3 gateways. He should be getting ready for it back at home. Tanks are on the way. Adept does sneak into the main. Not quite getting any STVs, but does get a full scout. As we are setting up our SimCity, Adept is going to get picked off. We do have a mine drop making its way in. So again, we've already seen 3 gateways. This mine drop should be getting eyes on the 4th. If it even matters at this point, as here comes the army. War Prism is moving out. And so are those Stalkers. Back at home, we have a bunker on the low ground. We have a second bunker actually on the way on the low ground. We have 1 tank in the main. Second tank is in production. Mine drop is waiting for the opportune moment to go in. And here comes a massive warping of Stalkers. Again, no tank at the natural. We dive in. Bunker is going to be delayed. We're going to be able to focus it down. We're going to be able to force a cancel. We do have a repair on the second bunker though. Raven has arrived. We do have an auto turret. Soon to be an auto turret, I should say. Clem is being forced back at the same time. We do get the mind drop into the main. 4 probes go down. And we do save the Widowmine as well. Big moment here for Clem. But can he hold on to his natural? The tank is edging on ever closer. Stalkers, they do evacuate. Auto turret was thrown down. MaxPax trying to rotate around, trying to find a way into the main. Does have high ground vision. 3 SCVs go down. Some big tank shots. Yeah, MaxPax, he could try to threaten that main base. Behind this, he does have a third Nexus on the way. And he just dives into the natural, gets a tank. At the same time, Mind Drop comes back into the natural base of Clem. Sorry, of MaxPax. Both naturals are on the third. The boys are being pulled as well. Oh, that's a lot of SCVs going down. The Stalkers are very low. And we do barely hold on, but we're going for another big warp in. MaxPax, he's not slowing down. Only lost 3 probes across the map. Gets into the natural, denies the bunker. Stim is still on the way. Clem maintaining a worker lead. Bear that in mind. He may have lost 8 SCVs, but he's still alive. And oh no, the Raven. The Raven does overextend. Turret is on the way. We're going to rotate over into the main. Tank not quite in position. And they're picking up a couple of these add-ons. Meanwhile, the Mind Drop came back in. 6 more probes. Oh, that Widowmine is still... No shot. It's still alive. That Widowmine has gotten 3 shots off so far. That's crazy. It's gotten 15 probes. Almost all on its own. I think a Reaper killed 1 probe earlier. 14 worker kills. Ay, ay, ay. The MVP mine. Meanwhile, we have the Prism into the main. Gonna try and pull apart Clem. Scans the natural, does confirm the recall as well, does see the saturation on that base. And Clem, he holds. He's able to maintain his tank count for a little bit. He's able to maintain his work count again because of the Widowmine drops. He is ahead economically. Here we go. Clem is pushing out. The Mind Drop coming in for what, a 4th time? Up! The Emperor! We're coming back in. Another 2 probes. And what do we have at home to defend? We have a couple of sentries for Horse Fields. We can wall off that ramp. Dive on top of the tank. Tank is going to go down. Big pickoff. Clem a bit over. It was forced to stim earlier. Good mine connection, but Clem is forced back. That Widowmine is still alive. He just keeps saving it. Oh my god. But here comes the surround. MaxPax from behind even. With those Zealots. Does collapse on the army. Charge is done. Clem moving out with his tank. Going to be exposing it. Can we break through? Ay, ay, ay. Here we go. We do snipe that medevac. Oh. Gets the sentry. Gets the marauder. Big pick off Stalkers as well. Clem a little bit late to blink. A little bit distracted. Behind this, he threw down that 4th. Oh no, did the Widowmine go down? It did. The Mind Drop finally got cleaned up. I think. Aye. But it did well. Did so well in the end. Did more than what even a dedicated Mind Drop would do. Here we go. As Clem moves out, we do have a Zealot counterattack. Hitting that 3rd base. Getting a couple of SCVs. Forcing back these Marauders. Meanwhile, Clem, he is committed. He does have reinforcements back at home. The Viking will shut this down as well. The Prism falls. Big pickoff. At the same time, another Zealot counterattack moving towards that natural. Overcharge is popped. MaxPax trying to hold on with a purely gateway army. The Rodix Bay is finishing up. A second Immortal's on the way. And we do get on top of the tank. Zealot run by. Didn't do much. Did keep the reinforcements back at home though, but yeah, GG gets called. Clem, he snowballs out of control. He survives the 4 gates And Clem takes a 2-1 lead in this series. GG. Whew, let's go. Oh my god. GG, well played. MaxPax so committed, of course, with his 4-gate. Wasn't quite able to get the damage that he was really looking for. Eventually, Clem was able to break free. Was able to break out. And MaxPax just did not have enough to keep up with the army, with the momentum that Clem had. And now Clem, he's 1 game away. 1 game away from winning this entire series, from becoming this week's ESL Open Cup Americas champion. MaxPax needs 1 win here to force the ace match. And here we go. Next game, Solaris. Next game is going to be on Solaris. And yeah, as being mentioned in the chat, MaxPax, he did stop going for 4-gate blink openers against Clem. Maybe Clem specifically, or maybe in general, for a long time, just because Clem became so good at defending it, as was showcased here. So most likely we're going to be seeing a different opener out of MaxPax. Could still be Twilight Council into something more economic, maybe 2-gate into a 3rd, or we could go back to Phoenixes. We'll see. We'll see what MaxPax brings to the table. We'll see if we can force the ace match. Personally, that's all I want. I want a game 5. I want us to go the distance. But it's not on me, it's on our players. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Solaris, we have the Danish Protoss player down in this series, hoping to force the ace match, looking to fight back. Representing Storm Gaming, it is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the French Terran player representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. Bonomasa, 1 game away from becoming our champion. Breaking the curse. In recent series, MaxPax has been looking dominant. Oh, hello, Mr. SCB. Bienvenidos. MaxPax has been winning recently, back-to-back 2 series in a row. Clem, looking for revenge. Hot off of a beautiful kind of run in Home Story Cup. I don't know if I want to get into spoilers, I know it just kind of wrapped up, but yeah, Clem did amazingly at Home Story Cup, and he's looking to keep on going. He is in form, very much so, leading into DreamHack Atlanta. Probe Scout comes in, and MaxPax does come across the proxy racks. A very fortunate scout here for MaxPax. Does come across this, will shut this down. Oh, will he though? Actually, the SCV is going to barely finish. It does survive. Rax does complete. Reaper is on the way, but at least MaxPax is aware. You know, knowing is half the battle. He's aware of the proxy Reaper. And he will be able to prepare, both physically and mentally, for this. Meanwhile, across the map, we do see Clem transitioning again. It was a 2-racks opener into a factory, into a delayed CC. MaxPax being as annoying as possible here, tasing away at that worker. Meanwhile, here comes that Reaper. Heading into the main. Again, MaxPax chronoing out that Adept. I'm sure it is ready to pull back those probes and save them. I say pull back, even pull in. So far, good control. No probes have gone down yet. Reaper going to be dancing with the units here of MaxPax. Oh my god. Not quite getting a probe. Adept has arrived. Good control here out of MaxPax. A lot of these probes have been weakened, but nothing died. Very nice micro. With that, MaxPax does force Clem back. Oh, meanwhile, a big shout out to Dropship Magic. Thank you. Thank you so much for the sub, for subscribing here for the first time. Thank you. I do appreciate it. Hope you enjoy your emotes. Hope you enjoy your replay packs. We do send out replay packs to our subscribers. A lot of replay packs, actually. So if you wish to join our Discord server, you will gain access to them. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing. We appreciate the support. Always appreciate it. Again, all our money that we make here on the channel goes towards our tournaments. We do host tournaments on a bi-weekly basis. We mainly focus on smaller regions like North America, Latin America, and Oceania. If you're familiar with KSL, we basically do KSL, but for all the other regions. And yeah, we do appreciate it. Thank you. That's what our Patreon is for as well. Meanwhile, Adepts, they do get across the map. Reaper does bypass them. We are getting in towards a mine drop even. The first wind mine almost goes down. Ooh. We do trade 2 Adepts for 1 Widowmine. Not really worth it here for MaxPax. A little bit distracted by the Reaper. His attention was pulled apart. And behind this, we have our opener. It is going to be a Twilight Council once again. It's going to be Blink. How many gateways, though? We have 3 gateways in total. 2 gateways at the natural, 1 gateway in the main. It should be 3 gate into a 3rd, but we'll see if a 4th gateway gets thrown down. Meanwhile, behind this, Clem going for a Mind Drop. Looking at his vision, Clem, he didn't see the tech. He's not aware of what's going on. Not aware of the opener of MaxPax yet, but that is the purpose of this Mind Drop, just to get confirmation. Just to get a read on the gateways and the tech. Ooh, probe has been spotted. The probe survives, but Clem, he's aware that MaxPax is thinking about an expansion. Should be feeling pretty good about that. Mind Drop comes in. Oh, the unbar. We do confirm the Twilight Council. We see it researching. We can confirm the 3 gateways as well. And the... Oh, no! Oh, my God. That wouldn't have been too bad, actually, if we let that finish. We have the Unburrow once again. And again, as we save the Widowmine. Only 1 dead worker at the natural. And the linear 3rd has been taken from MaxPax. So it's going to be 3 gate Blink Stalkers into a 3rd. Something more economic, something safer as well. You can be a little bit aggressive because it's 3 gate, not 2 gate. We can actually move out with these Stalkers. We can have a presence just to contain. We could even try to blink into the main as well, but it's not going to be anywhere near as committed as we saw in the last game. Again, MaxPax is being more economic. He does have a high ground vision. Well, the Observer has been spotted by the Raven. Yeah, we're going for the auto turret at the same time. We blink into the natural. Observer's going to go down. Tank is in position. Big volleys go off. We can go straight for the Stalkers. We focus 1. We get 2. We get 3? Yeah, 3 Stalkers go down. Big pickoffs. MaxPax overextending. And this is brutal here. Again, he didn't have many Stalkers to begin with because of the lower gateway count, and bleeding out 3 Stalkers is not insignificant. Here we go. This MaxPax is just going to be saturating his 3rd. Charges on the way. We're committing to a gateway composition. It's going to be Blink Stalkers into charge. We're delaying any kind of splash damage. We're delaying Robo and Colossus production. We can still head there afterwards once we get 3-way saturation. We could otherwise head towards a Templar Archives and go towards Storm. Storm-based play has made a resurgence, and it's always a lot of fun to watch, but we'll see what MaxPax has in store for us. We're now just trying to contain his opponent, Clem. He's on his 3-1-1 setup, working towards a faster 3rd CC this time. So much more economic here out of Clem. Raven is ready for some harass. Stalkers, they do poke in, but again, they take a tank shot to the face. We're going for a big gateway explosion, by the way. That's 4 additional gateways in production. In addition to the 4 that we already have, it's going to be 8 gates in total. No gases here at the 3rd. No additional tech. But +1 is still a ways away. Yeah, there we go. Now we have a 4th. So MaxPax is just working towards a later game. Working on +1, Robo production, and the 4th. And soon splash damage. Whether he goes for a Templar Archives or Robotic Space, still yet to be determined. As the Prism is going to be threatening a drop into the main. Likewise, double drop moving out here for Clem as well. Oh, actually looking for a surround on these Stalkers. Let's go. Hoping to try to ferry or just corral them into the rest of the army. Trying to force out that blink. Into the mines. Ooh, big connection. 2 Stalkers, 3 Stalkers go down. We don't clean everything up, but a good trade nonetheless. At the same time, the drop into the main, but we have reinforcements waiting back at home. Clem is in position. Even has a Viking to force this back, to chase this away. So really good movement here, really good positioning out of Clem, both defensively and offensively. Now he's moving out. There's that Bay on the way. It is going to be Colossus in the end. And I was teasing Storm and I was hoping for it, but it is going to be Colossus. Meanwhile, the Prism is going to be shut down. The Zealots are still out on the map, but there's no drop potential into the main. And Clem is going to be pushing towards that 4th. He's got 2 tanks, a minefield, Marines, Marauders. A good force field is going to be slowing this down. but numbers-wise, Clem is snowballing out of control. Like, he has just such an insane army at the moment, and MaxPax has been bleeding out too much. He's trying to go for a Zealot counterattack, but he runs into a brick wall, runs into bunkers. There's no shield battery, no overcharge, no support here. The Immortal goes down. The Colossus is on the way, but it's not out yet. We do have Zealots harassing that third, but it's not going to be enough. We have a surround. We're trying to, but there's only 2 Zealots. They get picked off. The tanks, they stand their ground. We have the overcharge, but the Zealots have been evaporated. They have melted. And Clem, he has too much. He's looking to clean this up. He's looking to take this series. It's been a while since he's beaten MaxPax in the best of, but there it is. GG gets called, and Clem is going to be this week's ESL Open Cup Americas champion. GG. Now, can I get this button right? Ha! Yeah. It was a 50-50 chance. I got it. GG, well played. Congratulations to Clem. Again, just completely shutting down the aggression of his opponent, just building himself up quite heavily here, and MaxPax just split out far too much. The Stalkers, the Zealot harass did nothing as well. Those Zealots, whether it was in towards the main or the third base, they were designed to keep Clem busy back at home, to buy time for MaxPax to get into his Colossus. As we saw, it was close. MaxPax, he was seconds away from getting into his Colossus production, into his shield battery, his overcharge. If that attack from Clem had happened maybe, I don't know, 20 seconds later, MaxPax would have had a much stronger defense there. Not saying he would have held. Things would have still been in favor of Clem, don't get me wrong, just because so much had gone his way. But, yeah, MaxPax was just trying to survive long enough to get into those Colossi. Barely couldn't. By the time it came out, he had lost so much, and Clem snowballed out of control. GG, well played. Congratulations, Clem is going to be our champion. My condolences to MaxPax, but he had a really good showing. You know, I don't want to take away from MaxPax, right? He took down Solar to make it here. Not just Solar, MaxPax, he 2-0'd Beyond. He 2-0'd Beyond, he 2-0'd Solar. The only person to take maps and take a series and maps as well off of MaxPax tonight was Clem. It was only Clem, so very well done. Very solid performance by both players. And they do go back and forth. You know, Clem is the best Terran in Europe, MaxPax the best Protoss. They go back and forth in series, and tonight Clem is the better player. Again, maybe just getting rid of some of his frustrations from the finals of Home Story Cup over the weekend. You know, it's possible that he was just trying to vent a little bit on MaxPax. MaxPax, he wasn't even there, pap. He wasn't even at Home Story Cup. Leave him alone. Regardless, GG, well played. A solid tournament here today. And it wasn't just Clem and MaxPax. We were also featuring Dark earlier, Wayne, Hon Mono. A great day of StarCraft. I do apologize. The stream did go down earlier. The stream went down during Wayne versus Hon Mono. So do apologize for that. I know we lost a lot of viewers when that did occur. But a big shout out to Pig. Pig did give us a raid after he was covering the replays of Home Story Cup. So thank you so much. Big shout out to Pig. We will also be covering the replays of Home Story Cup as the replay packs have been made available, and we're going to be doing that next week. So yeah, if you're interested in that sort of thing, then we will be covering them here on the CranKy Ducklings. Meanwhile, if you're tuning in for the first time and you're like, who is this guy? CranKy Duck? What? Why are there ducks? What's going? Quack. We are a casting team. We've been around for many years. I think we founded the CranKy Ducklings back in 2017, maybe end of 2016. We've been casting here on a regular basis for many years. We were casting on like a weekly basis in the beginning, but starting in 2020, starting during COVID, I did go full time, and we have been casting on a daily basis almost ever since, sometimes multiple times a day. Like today. Today we have 2 casts. We just wrapped up with ESL Open Cup Americas, and we're going to be live in how many hours time? Let me just double check the calendar. We're going to be live in 5 hours. I probably don't have time to nap. I'm going to get some breakfast. I'm going to get some food. In 5 hours time, we're going to be back here with IEM qualifiers. You may be curious. It's like, wait, but DreamHack Atlanta is still next week, right? Like, DreamHack Atlanta is still on the way. True. DreamHack Atlanta is next week. But because ESL wanted to make sure that players got their visas in time, if you're familiar, if you know that there have been issues with visas earlier this year when it comes to invited players, and they weren't given enough time to actually get their visas going and actually travel abroad. That's a big reason why Oliveira wasn't a part of the previous Home Story Cup earlier this year, and also more importantly, DreamHack Yongshipping. DreamHack Summer didn't have Oliveira because he wasn't able to get his visa in time. So because of that, ESL, they're taking the initiative to actually host the IM qualifiers further ahead of time, just to make sure that we can get everyone sorted and make sure that we don't have that happen again and everyone can get involved. So IM qualifiers, they start tonight. They're going to be going on this entire week. Let me just double check our calendar here. So obviously in 5 hours we have the Asia qualifiers. Tomorrow is the closed Asia qualifiers. In a couple of days over the weekend, we have the European qualifiers and the American qualifiers, and I got a lot of StarCraft. We're going to be casting all of it here on this channel, as we always do. We're also going to be covering World Team League. WTL is this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We have an OSC 24-hour special broadcast on the 10th of December. That's coming up. We have the House Open Cup, which is a Polish-only tournament. We have a Hatchery replay cast, which is on Thursday. Again, we're casting every day here, as we always do, and often 2 or even 3 times a day, especially over the weekend. Our weekends are really busy. Weekends are very busy, as we have 3 broadcasts a day on Saturday and Sunday. So yeah, if you're interested, if you enjoy our casting, if you enjoy StarCraft, we got plenty of content available for you. Plenty of StarCraft here on the CranKy Ducklings. If you can't tune in live, and if you're curious, you're like, you know what, maybe I want to tune into some VODs. Maybe I want to tune into some of the history, the years gone by, the CranKy Ducklings, exclamation mark YouTube in the chat, exclamation mark YouTube, and you can get a link to our YouTube channel. We do upload on a daily basis. We have thousands of VODs on YouTube. We have thousands of hours of content on YouTube as well, just because of how often we're live, and we upload everything onto our YouTube channel. It's a bit of an archive of all of our broadcasts, so you can check us out there if you're interested. Again, if you can't tune in live, if you want to, YouTube is the place to be. And yeah, with that, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Thank you so much for the support. We're going to be heading off for now. Again, we're back in 5 hours, so be sure to be there in 5 hours time for some IM Asia qualifiers, for the Korean action, for Korea, Southeast Asia, Oceania. They're all going to be duking out for those IM Katowice qualifying spots. Yeah, with that, thank you. I did mention earlier, we have if you're interested, we have a Patreon. You can see there our current goal on Patreon. We do spend 300 USD a month on our own tournaments. We do host bi-weekly events for the Oceanic region, for the Americas region, and the Latin American region. We have like region-locked weeklies, basically. And we try to support some of these smaller regions, and that is where our money goes. So basically the difference there that we make up for our Patreon, we make up for via Twitch subs. So all the money goes towards our tournaments. So if you're interested, you can support us there. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time. We'll see you guys in 5 hours for some more StarCraft. Until then, hasta luego. Bye. Hasta luego. Hasta luego.